Ever seen karma come to your wayward spouse and or their affair partner? Karma delivered herself to my ex-husband nicely wrapped in a bow. My ex-husband and I had what I thought was a dream marriage. We both had high-paying jobs, owned a home, and years after trying to get pregnant succeeded 3 years ago, and was blessed with my son. My pregnancy had complications and I was advised not to move around much and go for sedentary work, which made me quit my job. Naive me thought since husband's was earning more than enough and we had quite a good nest egg, it would be okay. I always planned to go back to work after the baby was born. Me being at home while he worked changed him. He withdrew more and more and got distant. Anything I had to plan to buy for the baby resulted in a fight. Our son was born and after 6 months I started working again. He never bonded with the baby. One would think he would have stopped finding faults after I started working again. Nope. I offered to go to counseling, he refused. He blindsided me with divorce and told me he just wants to visit the baby one weekend every month and gave the standard. He wasn't in love with me, just the life we built. When bluntly asked if there was someone else, he refused. He agreed to pay $500 in child support every month. Finding no other way, I hired a lawyer who was perplexed at the speed my ex wanted this divorce. I agreed to a legal separation of 6 months, following which I signed for an uncontested divorce. What was the karma, you ask? Yesterday me and my lawyer received an email from his newest girlfriend with details of at least 2 accounts with close to $5 million in balance he had hidden from me and evidence of their affair. He was sleeping with her when I was pregnant with our baby. She was a co-worker when they started having the affair. My ex, in a fight with her, told her last week, he never intended to marry her and if he ever remarries he will marry someone with good values, not someone who will sleep with a married man. She had the ultimate revenge on him by sending evidence of their affair to his superiors and his hidden bank accounts to me. Yeah, I am going after everything he has 50-50. I was finally convincing myself that I wasn't to blame for being inadequate to him and failing my marriage. I have so many mixed feelings. The woman who helped ruin my marriage is the one who has given me the final closure, but at least I am in a healthy mindset to process this. Thanks to everyone who read my rant. So, my question is, have you seen Karma's Wrath yet? You want karma? Here's some karma. 3.5 years ago I caught my wife in a physical affair and emotional affair less than 10 months after getting married. She begged to try and reconcile. I was devastated and weary, but agreed. I pushed to have her sign a separation agreement in case things got worse. When we married, I bought about $15,000 of her credit card debt, paid it off, and I had about $10,000 of debt on my credit card from our wedding. As part of the agreement, if we divorced, she'd owe me that money. I also protected other assets I had from before we got married. A few months later, I ended up catching her with the affair partner. They never stopped seeing each other. Then I learned that she had slept with several men during the 6 years we dated. It was probably the darkest, lowest point of my life. My divorce attorney suggested I put an addendum in place with some kind of payment plan to ensure I get my money. My ex agreed to transfer me $500 a month until the debt was paid. So for the past 3 years, she has been paying me. Most of this money I have saved. Fast forward to today. I have been dating the most wonderful woman for 2 years. 6 months ago she moved in with me, and 2 weeks ago I decided to propose. Guess how I financed the engagement ring? Yep. Karma. Yeah. And my ex will be paying for a portion of my wedding as well. I spent 3 years getting over what my ex did, while watching him have a cozy family life with the woman he left me for. I have to see him every week because we have little kids together. Anyway, I would get the "I'm a changed man" for her line, which at first broke my heart. What was so special about her? Why was this homewrecker getting the kind of man I deserved? When he left, he moved in across the street with her. I had to go to bed every night for a month knowing they were across the road screwing each other. I managed to find a new place and move out pronto. So fast forward 3.5 years and I'm basically over it. Was a bit pissed that he still had this lovely little family life with her. Why do good things happen to bad people? They had a baby yesterday, which 3 years ago would have killed me, but now I'm just like rather him than me. I've just gotten both kids to school and finally getting an adult life back. No more offspring from me. I've got big plans, none involve babies. Anyway, I got a teary phone call from her about 6 months ago, so she'd have been about 3 months pregnant with the planned baby, saying he had been cheating on her for 10 months, with a woman from around the corner. How was she supposed to leave there knowing what they were doing around the corner, etc.? I've always believed in karma in some way, but for him to do not only the exact same thing to her, but worse, as he did to me, blew my mind. Anyway, I just said, yeah, I'm familiar with that scenario. I don't know what she expected me to say. I tried to be supportive because nowadays we all actually get on. I don't want them to split up because my kids are attached to her, they've seen enough broken families. She took him back, even though he was planning and conceiving a baby with her while screwing someone else. The closure I got from this was immense. I always hated how he'd tell me how amazing and special she was and how he lost any interest in me. Like I was the world's most boring individual. What was so freaking special about her? Turns out, absolutely nothing. It wasn't me, it never was me, I wasn't the problem. My confidence took an instant boost 6 months ago and I'm finally free of any negative feelings about the past. I see it as nothing more than a lesson in the path to where I am now. My old friend Karma decided to come play. Well, life is kinda insane. I don't think I could even make this up. LOL. Backstory. Ex-wife slept with co-worker/friend while all three of us worked together. She had moved on to a new job in 2016 but the affair continued off and on apparently. D-Day was in September 2018. Worked with him for 1 month after D-Day cause I had to find a new job. Started at a new company in the same industry. AP was fired and rehired at the old company he is currently managing. Ex recently attempted suicide and has been released for the time being. She is with her parents 10 hours away. I have both kids with me full time. I still feel a lot of anger to the affair partner due to his need to be a complete slimeball and brag to me about the deeds done and use me to cover his work. Yesterday I got a call into the office before I left for the field and heard some news. My manager, who is aware of some of my story, called me in and told me that my current company had just bought my old company. Old company was working in a specialized role in our field of work my current company wants to get into. He asked me who I think they should retain with a grin. He put a strong emphasis on the need for strong moral character. The current owner of the old company, who actually has been a great help as he has been through something similar with his ex, has agreed to keep it silent till my company makes any decisions. He actually might have suggested this. He doesn't like the affair partner but he needed his experience. The boss has offered me the opportunity to hand the affair partner his notice of termination. 2 conditions. I have to do it with himself and another manager there. I am 6 feet, 220 pounds and it's not a lot of fat these days. AP is 5'9" and 160 pounds, managers are both the same size as me. They are aware of my anger issues as I have been honest about my life as it was showing through my work during the initial months, and the fact that I attended some anger management classes with another coworker. In no uncertain terms they made it clear I should not engage, but if a fair partner is hostile he will step in. Less legal BS, he says, if he defends an employee. Personally I think he understands my anger and doesn't want me to give in to it. I've never felt this level of hatred as I do for this guy. I'm over the sleeping with my wife. It's his need to mock me like he did that I have the biggest problem with. That, and even though he understands that he ruins marriages and lives, he is still trying to have other affairs. The other condition. Since the original owner is moving south and the supervisor is to be terminated, I have to help the company transition over until a new supervisor/manager can be picked, as I know the most about both companies. He said provided everything goes well I will get a raise, and the opportunity to make this full time. Wait. Karma? Karma? Is that you? Damn, I missed you. I'm not sure if I will take up the offer to hand him his papers, but petty or not I think this is a big ol' spoonful of karma. I was all smiles today. Friday at 7 a.m. if I decide to, I get to walk into the meeting at the old company and hand him his termination in front of all my old coworkers who are aware of what went on. Reason for dismissal. Moral character does not meet company standards as the work we do requires honesty and integrity. Verification of measurement devices that see millions of dollars of product pass through regularly is funny like that. Old boss and new boss have both been through what I have, and they have both heard part of the stories about the AP bragging to me about how he did it with her in his office, new building. Old office is sold, using me to cover his work while they were off doing their thing, and numerous other complete slimeball moments. They seem to think that karma is important on this occasion and wanted to maybe help me put a little closure on it. The reality is the new boss knew we couldn't work together, things would get too hostile. I am still working on anger management for myself, and he is pretty upset that I did such horrible things as tell his wife and everyone just what kind of person he is. Apparently, I should never have said anything cause I owed him that. Still trying to figure out how I owed him, but okay. Do I feel bad about this? Not overly. The fact of the matter is he padded his hours, stole equipment, the police will be stopping by to ensure all property was returned, half-assed his work and drinks at work regularly. He recently tried to start another affair with the new safety consultant. However, I may have informed her husband about what a stellar guy he is after one of the old guys mentioned it. He was left in charge largely cause the owner was stepping back and retiring and no one else knew the systems as he did. I was the next closest but at the time had no desire to stay on. Movies were a little too vivid in my head when I was in the office at the old building. I imagine his wife will be pissed, as in my opinion, she was more concerned with the standard of living rather than anything else. After all, they were both forgiven 2 days after she found out. Call me petty, but damn, I feel pretty good right now. My fiancée cheated on me 3 different times. I finally gave up on her the 3rd time. Today she's divorced from her 3rd husband and looks 20 years older than she is. She's gone from creep to creep, getting abused and dumped. She lives in some crappy low-income apartment complex and has never done anything with her life. I, on the other hand, went on to meet the love of my life, served in the Marines, went to college and got my bachelor's and master's degrees in computer science, have an awesome life, kids, and the most amazing wife ever. I loved my fiancée with all my heart and would have provided her the same life. Several times over the last 3 decades she's contacted me in some way trying to gauge where I am in life. I don't hate her anymore. I'm not mad at her. I actually pity her and what her life has become. All by her choosing. I actually think her karmic price has been paid and hope she finds some kind of happiness. Our lives went in 2 polar opposite directions. Just a bit of a sweet karma story I had to share. Background. Together for 15 years, married for 6, divorced since January 2017. He cheated on me with his coworker. She cheated on her husband with mine. They busted up 2 marriages to ride off into the sunset. Or so I thought. They have been together for a year and a half plus. My ex is a classic not so classic narcissist, so I assumed, even if things weren't going well for them, he'd stay in that relationship longer than necessary because he had something to prove. After all, he destroyed not only me, temporarily, but also many friendships to be with her. There's no way he'd go down without a fight. Can't be wrong, you know? Well, Reddit friends, I was informed yesterday that she dumped him. Gave him the classic, I need to find myself BS. Which is all too perfect because that's what he told me. He asked for a divorce, claiming there wasn't anyone else, and that he just doesn't know who he was anymore, only to find out, via a phone call from her husband, about the affair after he fed me that line. My ex is super salty about it all, saying he was screwed, duped, lied to, and that women aren't worth the paper they're written on, whatever that means. Every bone in my body wants to scream at him. The pain he feels is a fraction of what he caused me. I will stay silent, but that temptation is strong. Ha ha. Welcome to heartbreak, you lying POS. May you find it as miserable a place as I did. Schadenfreude at its best, folks. I'm in a really good place in my life. Better than I ever could have been if I were with him. Karma train came to town. A little late for my liking, but better late than never. My ex never valued his APs either. He lied to them too. Used them to feel better, churned through 50 to 100 over about 15 years, I kid you not. Even the 19-year-old, best friend was just a way to relive his 20s and avoid his failure to mature at all. She was used to show how he can make friends, who are 20, so his failure to make any male friends our age could be hand waved away. I did find it satisfying to contact one of them, the one he threw freaking keys in my face because I required him to reject her in their sexy times in order to reconcile. She was angry and hurt, hey go figure. Sucks to be lied to, eh? To find out that no, I did not consent to his sexy times with her or any of his buddies. Anyway, her pissy little anger at his lying was amusing. Poor little thing had absolutely no empathy whatsoever, but her being lied to was just so upsetting. Made it much easier to move on. And, she knows he lies. That was worth a lot too. I'd love his life to crash and burn, but we have kids together, yep. Cheated throughout all of their lives, and it would be hard on the kids. So, him just being lame, pathetic, incompetent, selfish, loathsome and a lying cheater, and knowing I know all that he did? Good enough for me.